Hey guys, welcome to today's vlog. We have a ton of updates today. We had our baseline appointment today for our frozen embryo transfer, so we're going to tell you all about that. But first I wanted to just talk through some other things. I wanted to thank y'all all for all your sweet comments and messages on our last video. Y'all are just amazing, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Thank y'all so much. So yesterday was Saturday, and I had to go do lab work. So I went, I had to go to a stat lab, and they don't have a stat lab in my town, so I have to go to the next town down to do stat labs. So I went to go do that, and it was Saturday, so they're only open from 8 to noon. So I got there right at 8 o'clock, and there was a line out the door. And I'm like, nobody's here yet. There's a line out the door. Okay. So I get in line, I'm fifth in line, and this girl comes in. She's there at about 8:05, and she's having a hard time opening the door, and then she starts telling us all that it's her first day on the job, and I'm like, oh my goodness, why do they not have someone here training her? But then she starts talking about her trainer, and her trainer was running late too. So that lady finally gets there, and she was older. She was a lot older. So they're in the back, and they have like one of those glass windows that they close so you can't see them. So the 5 of us that were there at 8 o'clock were sitting in the lobby waiting, and she's got that thing closed, and you can just hear them back there. I mean, it's not soundproof at all, and they can't figure out the computer. And then the new girl asks her trainer how long has she worked there, and she tells her she's worked there for 10 years, but she doesn't do computers. I'm like, if you don't do computers, why did they put her with you? Anyways, so they ended up on the phone with IT and trying to have IT help them turn the computer on, and they had IT on speakerphone, so everyone in the lobby, we could hear what they were saying. And at one point, one of the ladies was like, should I just go back there and do it for him? And I honestly was thinking the same thing. So long story short, they finally call up the first patient. Well, the first patient, they asked her for her orders from her doctor, and she says that her doctor scanned them in, and they're like, oh, we don't know where you find those on the computer. So they had to get back on the phone with IT, trying to find these scanned orders that ended up sending the lady home. So she ends up going home without doing her blood work, and I'm like, thank goodness I have paper orders, because I have to get this done today because our appointment was the next day, which is today, Sunday, and they were only open from 8 to noon, and it wasn't like I had time to run around town to find another stat lab because I had a baby shower to go to yesterday, but I needed to get back to my town to get ready for it, and I just needed to get my blood work done, then get home, get ready, and I was busy the rest of the day, and they close at noon. So finally, they call me up an hour later. An hour later, they call me up, and it's the new girl that calls me up, the older lady. She's in the back drawing someone's blood. And I was rude. I sighed, and I picked up a comment card, and I start filling out the comment card, and people had already asked for corporate's numbers so they could complain, and it was really just like this big hot mess. And I felt bad for the girl because it was her first day, but I was also frustrated. Yesterday was just a bit of a frustrating day. So I'm filling out this comment card, and she's like asking me for my ID. And I guess because I give blood so often, the girl that I usually see there, she doesn't ask me for my ID, which maybe she should. She doesn't even ask me for my insurance card. Like, they have everything on file, so I'm just like, do you seriously need this? Like, I never give it to y'all. Like, you just call me back, take my blood, and I leave. So I was just like, and anyways, she gets everything that she needs. We go to the back, and she's drawing my blood, and she starts talking about the lady that is her trainer, who's one room over, and there aren't doors here. So she's talking about her, and I'm like, oh, should you be talking about her so loud? But she's like, I'm so sorry. It's my first day, and I feel so bad for y'all. Anyways, she was having a rough first day. And I told her, I was like, you know, I know that I was rude, and I apologize for being rude. And she's like, what? And I was like, you called me up to the window, and I totally like sighed at you and dramatically picked up the comment card. I was like, I apologize for that. I get you're having a bad first day, and I'm sorry if I was rude. And she starts crying, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't mean to make you cry. So she's crying. She puts the needle in. She can't find my vein. They always say I have good veins. They always find them on the first time. So then she's like turning the needle different ways, and she's like, I'm so sorry. Does this hurt? And I'm like, you're fine. Do what you need to do. I feel like I get my blood drawn all the time. It's not a big deal. Just do what you need to do to find the vein. So she finally says, "Dear Lord Jesus, please let me find this woman's vein so I don't have to stick her again. Amen." And then she starts turning around. She can't find it. So then she pulls it out, wraps her arm, and she's like, "Can I try your other arm?" I'm like, "Do what you need to do." So she got it on the other arm, and she was like, she asked something about like, "Well, what do you mean that you get your blood drawn all the time?" Or I think she was trying to figure out like why I said that. And I told her, I said, part of why I'm frustrated, other than it took an hour to get me back here, is I'm in the lobby sitting next to a pregnant lady. Go figure, who's just stroking her belly, which I know when I'm pregnant I'm probably gonna stroke my belly too, but go figure, I'm sitting next to a pregnant lady for an hour who's just there with her beautiful baby bump, and that's frustrating. And I've got a baby shower to go to today, and all I want to do is make a baby. All I want to do is make a baby. And all I need to do is get my blood work done today, and I need my thyroid level to be good. I need my progesterone level to be undetectable, and I just want good labs. And I'm just tired. Like, I'm just tired. And she starts crying, and she's like, "Can I pray for you?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, of course, we'll take all the prayers that we can get." So she starts praying over my blood, and I'm like, "Well, specifically, can you pray for my thyroid levels and my progesterone levels?" And she's like, "Yes." And then she finally finishes up, wraps both arms up, so I look like I've just got beaten up because I got both arms wrapped up. And I'm getting ready to leave. I'm picking up my purse, and she's like, "Can I hug you?" I'm like, "Sure." So she gives me this massive hug, and it wasn't even like a quick hug. It was like we embraced, and she held it there for a minute, and then I told her, I was like, "I hope you have a good rest of your first day. Just think about it this way. The lab closes at noon. You don't even have a whole day. It's already 9:30 at this point. I mean, pretty close to there." So anyways, that was my morning, and then I ended up at a baby shower. So that was yesterday. So fast forward to today, which is Sunday, we had our doctor's appointment at 8:30 this morning, and I woke up with a really nervous stomach, just really nervous because I felt like the stars have to align for our transfer to happen this week, you know? Everything has to look good. My uterus lining has to look good. My progesterone levels needed to be like so low today so I could start the crenone tonight. My thyroid level needs to be perfect. My ovaries need to look good and have fully healed. There's just a lot of things that needed to go right. And so I was a little bit nervous. Felt like there was a lot of pressure on today. So I love my doctor. She's just amazing. And I took a list of, if you've been watching our vlogs, you know I make lists and I ask lots of questions. I had a list of like 20 questions that I went through with her. And she's just so patient with me and answers them all in such great detail, and I just love her so much. So my uterus looks beautiful and it's ready for a baby. My lining is a 10, which she was very happy with. My progesterone levels were indetectable, which is perfect, so I can start the crenone tonight. So now I'm moving off estrogen 3 times a day, and I'm just doing estrogen and crenone in the morning and estrogen and crenone at night. So that's great. And the only thing that we're still waiting on is my thyroid level was still pending, so they'll call me tomorrow with those results. They said they should have them. Hopefully they'll call me by lunchtime. And she said as long as it's below a 2.5, she'll move forward with the transfer, but she didn't seem worried or concerned about it at all. So hopefully we just get an easy phone call tomorrow and we can move forward. So our transfer date is set for Friday. They will call us Wednesday. She said typically they call after about 3 p.m. and let us know what time the transfer is on Friday. They have to coordinate with the hospital. Thankfully, the hospital is in the same building, so it's really easy to get to, but they just have to coordinate times with them. So that's the plan, is we transfer on Friday. And yeah, I think that's all that we have going on this week. Just waiting for the call about my thyroid level tomorrow, which is Monday. The appointment time we'll get on Wednesday, and then we just talked through, you know, do's and don'ts after transfer. You know, eat like you're pregnant. So if you eat deli meats, make sure you warm them up. No sushi or rare steak, which I don't eat either of those, so that's not a big deal, but just making sure that you treat your body like it's pregnant. So when they put the embryo in, if you watched our previous vlogs, you know that we froze our embryo that we're transferring on day 6. So I went and I mapped everything out. I asked her about our betas and everything like that, you know, what dates would be. So we'll transfer on June 9th, and I'll technically be 2 weeks and 5 days pregnant. And then 10 days later, on June 19th, is when I'll have my first beta. I'll be 4 weeks and 1 day pregnant. And then June 21st, we'll have our second beta. I'll be 4 weeks and 3 days pregnant. June 28th, we'll have our third beta. I'll be 5 weeks and 3 days pregnant. And then July 5th, I'll be 6 weeks and 3 days pregnant, and that's when we do the ultrasound. So that was really exciting to get all of those dates and figure out, because I hadn't talked to her before about the betas just because we've never gotten this far in this process. So this is all like uncharted territory for us, and we're just learning about it. So I didn't know how close together she did the betas. I saw, like, you know, some doctors did them every 2 days because your HCG levels are supposed to double every 48 hours. And then I saw some that spread them out even more than 2 days just to make sure they are rising, and like they're rising drastically. So between our first beta and our second beta, it's 2 days. And then between our second beta and our third beta, it's a week. And then a week later, the ultrasound. So that was exciting to get all those dates. You know me, I'm a planner, so I got my life planner out, and I'm starting to map everything out and what these next 2 months look like. I did ask her, it was like, so how long do I get to see you for? She said typically she keeps her IVF patients that get pregnant from 10 to 12 weeks, so basically your first trimester. And I was like, are you sure you won't deliver our baby? And tried to convince her into being my OBGYN too. And she's like, no, I'm sorry. And she's like, the last baby she delivered is 12 years old now, so she hasn't delivered in a while. Heaven's like, no, she can't be our OB. So asking her for recommendations, just because I do need to find a new one in our town, so we don't have to always be driving down the road. You know, I want to keep this whole next step closer to home, since I feel like we don't travel. I hear different IVF couples that travel a long ways. We don't travel far, but still I'd rather stay in town for our pregnancy and everything that goes on with that. So it was a really great appointment today. I feel like there's just this huge weight off my shoulders, and it was good. So we'll keep you up to date with our next steps when we find out what time the transfer is on Friday. And of course, we'll vlog all of that. I'm so excited about it. I'm so excited to be able to finally get our baby out of that lab and thaw it out and bring it home and meet. I mean, I'm very excited for this next step. Some days I'm excited, and then some days I'm like terrified because we have one. But today I'm just really excited and really happy that our appointment went well. So those are our updates. I will let you know if anything else happens. Hopefully our phone call tomorrow about my thyroid is perfect and easy. And yeah, that's all I know. So thank y'all all again for all your sweet comments and messages. I know I haven't been replying to a lot of them, but please do know that I read every single one of them. And y'all are amazing. So we will see you later on in the week. And this is about to get real fast. So stay along for the ride. If you haven't yet, subscribe to our channel. And guys, oh, we also broke 1,000 followers. I can't believe there's 1,000 of you that care to hear our story or follow our journey. I had no idea 1,000 people would be interested in this. So yay for that. That's awesome. Anyways, that's it for today. And I hope you have a good rest of your weekend. And we will see you later in the week. Bye, guys.